So the Mortal Kombat 1 roster was allegedly mostly partially leaked. Now I say allegedly because this list was put together by 3 insiders: Diamond Vision, Roar, and Fate Unknown. Now, I would still take this roster with a grain of salt. Some information might not be correct. Some of these characters might actually be on the cameo roster and not a main fighter. So this is why I usually don't want to cover all the latest leaks, right? Because I think that it gives people hope for nothing, you know, without actual evidence like we got for Mortal Kombat 11, then it's really hard to say, right? Now, I am covering this because I still think that a lot of the information by these 3 people have actually been corroborated. But before we get into all of that, let's look at the community art share of the day. And that is an amazing design that this artist made for Ermac. So instead of him being all crusty and nasty, he actually made him into a decent looking human. I think it's really great what he did with the face. Make him look aged, but he still looks really nice. And with the mask on, it looks freaking amazing. I really love this design. I will put the link to this Twitter post down below if you want to go and look at this artist's other pieces. So let's look at our almost complete roster, including the first Kombat Pack 1. So we would have Baraka, Nitara, Li Mei, Tanya, Raiko, Havoc, Smoke, Ashra, Sindel, Rain, Reptile, General Shao Kahn, and Garrus. Now, the DLC characters, as shown in the Amazon Italy leak, is Ermac, Takeda, Omni-Man, Peacemaker, Homelander, and Quan Chi. Now, if we put all these leaks together, we get this beautiful roster. Now, I think this is one of the most amazing rosters we have gotten to date if all of this information is proven to be true. But if you can see, there is still 2 question marks in the bottom right corner, where I had previously put Sonya and Kano in my other roster prediction video. So let's go over the validity of these leaks and what these individual leakers posted. So Diamond Vision posted this roster on May 10th, and he said the roster will be Sonya, Johnny, Kano, Li Mei, Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, Ermac, Shang Tsung, Quan Chi, Serena, Nitara, Ashra, Goro, Kung Lao, Kitana, Melina, Sindel, Ferrator, Hanya, Garrus, Movado, Raiko, Smoke, Havoc, Motaro, and General Shao. Now, if these seem a bit weird to you, like Ferrator and Serena, that's because a lot of people have pointed that this person might have confused the main roster and the cameo fighters, or he might have just mashed them together. Because it seems that he actually got this information passed down to him by playtesters, so he didn't actually see the select screen, you know? The people who gave it to him might not have said, you know, hey, those characters are specifically cameos only and not in the main roster. But Roar, which is a known leaker, specifically said about this leak that there are some discrepancies which might be the cameo fighters, as I just mentioned. He also goes on to say, I think they could be confusing things from the different sources if they're not just making lucky guesses. I'm not sure, but much of it is accurate. So the reason why Aurora hasn't leaked the entire roster is because he said he didn't want to, and he wanted to let NRS do their thing, which is completely fine if he doesn't want to leak the information. But the fact that he says that this is mostly accurate is a good guess that some things might have been changed around, or as I said, some characters are cameos and not actual fighters on the roster. Because as we know, Quan Chi and Ermac are not on the base roster, they're actually part of the DLC. Just like Ferrator, who actually comes from the Amazon Italy leak and has been quote-unquote confirmed to be a cameo fighter not on the main roster. Now, to figure out who could be the last 2 fighters, there is some information that we have, but we don't have anything concrete, and honestly, anyone's guess is good, to be quite honest with you. Now let's talk about Sonya for a bit, because people think that she was confirmed because Ed Boon was saying that they wanted her to have a drone. But Aurora confirmed that Ed Boon's comment was about early development concepts and has nothing to do with Sonya being in the game's main roster or not. So it's not confirmed and it's not deconfirmed. She could still be in, but she could also very well not be on the base roster. Another one that people have been waiting for confirmation is Jade, because literally every other Edenian is pretty much on this freaking roster, is if all of this is correct. The only one missing is Jade. So someone asked, would the three that would be swapped be Sector, Cyrax, and Jade? I've seen a lot of rosters, but not a lot of the more likely people have mentioned the cyborgs, and Sindel kind of makes more sense for me this game than Jade. So I think Roar is replying yes to Sindel. It makes more sense than Jade. I don't dislike Jade, I don't like Jade, I don't really care if she's in or not personally, but don't despair. It's not because a character is not confirmed to be on the base roster that they'll never be in the game. They can very well be DLC, and I think Jade probably makes the most sense to be DLC with this game. If these leaks and all that information we have is proven to be correct, of course, once again, take all of this with a grain of salt. So for the characters that I think are the last two, personally it's very hard to make a choice because obviously it's going to be biased, right? People in my other prediction video have told me that Kenyo, Sonya, and Jax being in, doesn't make sense because they were shown as cameos, which pretty much confirms them for base roster. I personally don't think so, but I do see the logic in that. So if we work off of that, right? If we work off no Jade, no Sonya, no Kano, no Jax, then who would make sense to be the last two? I personally think that Ed Boon teased one yesterday in his Twitter poll, which was Shujinko. Y'all can go watch that video. I posted it late last night. Well, late for me, it was like 7 p.m. And I'm still going to go with Frost. I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm biased. I want to see her done right. I want her to be freaking cool, and I want her to not have Ellen DeGeneres freaking hair. Like, please. Anything but that. But I don't want to double down on Shujinko and Frost because everybody's gonna think I'm freaking insane, which, I very well might be. But in my opinion, it's not that far-fetched. If this roster is correct right now, if all of this is true, then it does make sense. But I'm still going to go with option 2. Option 2 being Sector and Cyrax. Now, I know there's a lot of contention pertaining to this because no one, literally no insider has mentioned the robots ever. But a part of me wants to think that they're Mortal Kombat fans too, and they wanted the surprise to be pretty big because they have skipped out on the last game, and in MKX they were variations of each other. So let's say they are actual fully fleshed out main fighters in this game, people are going to lose their minds, and I think having the cyber ninjas will bring a lot of nostalgia on the roster. And I said this a million times and I'm gonna say it again, I think they're really pushing hard for nostalgia with this game. So who do you guys think are the last two characters that are unknown if we count Shang Tsung as the 25th character on the base roster and not 24 because he's pre-order bonus like Shao Kahn? Who do you think is going to make it? Are my guesses far-fetched or not? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, have yourself a very wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon.